and say, welcome everyone to our Midweek Exhale. My name is Sharyn with a Y, and I am one half of the Exhale Awakening. The other half being Marie, who is, you will also see here on the screen. I never know which way to point, and I noticed on some recordings that she's the opposite way of the way I pointed. So I'm, I'm feeling a bit nervous pointing at where I think she is. Um, and we are, yeah, we're the Exhale Awakening, and we run these sessions each week as a midweek pause. It's a time for you to rest just after the just after the middle of the week. So the majority of like we've gone past that hump point, but you've still got to get through Thursday and Friday and maybe even Saturday or Sunday, depending when you work. And so we wanted to give people the opportunity to rest and just reset their nervous system so they had a gentler landing into the weekend or a gentler landing into the rest of the week. So our sessions are always the same. For those of you who are new to us, we start each of our breathwork segments with birdsong, and then we do about 2 minutes of birdsong, 6 minutes of breath work with the breath that we're going to lead you in. And then we finish with 2 minutes of silence before we repeat that that rhythm all over again. And we do that 4 times during our session. So you will have a good you'll have a good mix of actively breathing and just relaxing and noticing what comes up for you as you do the breath works. Now, hmm, it does say breath work in the title. So we are going to invite you to kind of consciously be aware of how you are breathing and to at least try with each of the prompts, each of the invitations that we give you. We're gonna ask you to give it a go. But we do have a rule, and it's probably our only rule, which is to be comfortable. So we we don't want you to get into a meditation pose and then feel like you can't move. We want you to be able to move if that's what your body needs. Um, we want you to be able to feel like you can emote, to feel like you can make noise if you want to, obviously within the confines of where you are in your own home. Um, so yeah, just taking care of what comes up for you. And if it becomes too much, then just let your breath return to normal. Just rest for a little while. And then if you feel like you can, then move back into the breath practice that we're working with. But if you feel like it's too much, just stay in the energy of being here and just allow your nervous system to settle and to rest. That's probably the most important thing that you'll get out of this session is that time of rest. Um, and the birdsong and the silence really helps with this because settle both of them settle the nervous system just naturally. If you're feeling activated, don't worry about it. Just let the silence and the birdsong do what it does. The birdsong works on the kind of bottom, the most primitive part of our brain, because if the birds were singing, there were no predators around. Now, life generally can sometimes feel like, we're on the edge. So it's really good to just give our brain that message that it's okay, there's no predators, it's fine, everything is good. So if you have any questions, pop them into the chat box. When I'm leading, Marie will be there. When Marie's leading, I will be there, and we keep an eye on you. So if you have any questions or you need any clarity, then just let us know. Have I covered everything? I kind of went in a different direction. I kind of went a different way around today than I normally do, but I'm covered, so that's good. So then make yourself comfortable. Now you can do this breath work either seated or lying down. I would just say try not to stand up quickly. So I did invite you to move around, and I stand by that. But I would just be careful going out of your breath work up into standing. So if the doorbell rings or something like that, just get up really gently, because we don't want you to be, we don't want you to be a bit disoriented and dizzy and fall over. So, yeah, just making yourself comfortable. Perhaps have a blanket or some layers available to you. So if your temperature changes, you can take something off or put a blanket on. And today we're going to breathe. Well, the focus of all of our breath works during this session is to breathe deeply. So if you were with us last week, and I don't know if you'll remember, but if you were with us last week, we breathed slowly. So all of the breath works were designed to slow the breath down. Today we're going to breathe deeply. And for anyone who has breathed with the oxygen advantage or has breathed with us before and has learned of the light, slow, and deep pattern, probably won't surprise you that next week we're going to do light. We're going to go through how to breathe light. So what we're going to do today is we're going to have some time in awareness breath. I'm just getting my notes so I make sure I do it right. Got time with just being aware of our breath. That's what I'm going to lead. Then Marie will pick up the baton, and she's going to have us breathing deep down into our diaphragm, and just a few little things she's going to show us there. And then when I pick up the baton again, I'm going to kind of have you focus on breathing into your back. Not something that we say often, but I'm going to just get you touching and feeling into breathing into your back. And then we'll finish with coherence. So as you're getting comfortable, I'm going to just invite the birdsong into the room. Just with your natural breath, you don't have to change anything. Just listen to the birdsong. Just noticing what happens as you just settle into the place where you are. Maybe you can imagine just leaving at the door, outside the door, or leaving in a little box by your side, whatever it is that you've been carrying today. Or maybe for the week, maybe whatever it is you've been carrying for the week. Perhaps you can just put it aside. Just for this hour or so, it's going to be there for you to pick up, don't worry. And maybe just notice, or even try and imagine, how the surface that you're lying on or seated on is rising up to meet you. So often we talk about sitting down or lying down. Just imagine that the surface is actually rising up to hold you, like you would if you were cradling a baby. And then just know that gravity is holding you in place. So So as the surface rises to meet you and as gravity just holds you in place, just notice how little you have to do. And at least for this first segment, just let go of any need to do anything. And as you just release the need to do anything, and you just let yourself be held, perhaps areas of tension in your body might come to your awareness. And if they do, maybe just imagine that your exhales are sent to those places to soothe them and calm them. And maybe every exhale could just be a slight release of that tension. You might notice that emotions become more obvious as you release the need to do anything. Maybe just allowing those emotions to flow. And just let yourself feel. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it is anger. Maybe it's sadness. Maybe it's joy. Maybe you can really feel the holding as you release to the surface and you feel nourished. Whatever you are feeling, it's perfectly okay. And allowing it will allow it to pass, to move through you. And perhaps you might even notice thoughts that are running in the back of your mind, maybe even the front of your mind. And you might be tempted to hold on to them or follow them. And there's loads of space for that in this breath work. You can follow those thoughts if you need to, but perhaps also see what it feels like if you just let them come and go. We're almost at the end of our awareness, and we'll soon be moving into silence. But before we do, just notice your breath. And maybe keep your attention on your breath into the silence.
And as the birdsong brings the silence to a close, just noticing what that silence felt like. Maybe it felt like it was just too short, and maybe it felt like it went on forever. And in our next segment, we're going to take the breath deep into our lungs. And when we breathe deep into our lungs, we use our diaphragm. And as the diaphragm pulls down, our lungs fill up and our belly appears to come out. We're not pushing our belly out, it naturally comes out. And so often we spend our time breathing into our chest because that's the way life is. So before we begin, I just want you to notice where your breath's sitting at the minute, without changing anything. Just notice where it's sitting, and notice without judging or anything else, just where is it sitting? I'm going to invite you to take your two hands and to put them on your belly with the fingers just touching, the two longer fingers just touching. And as you breathe in, using the diaphragm into the base of the lungs, notice your fingers really pull apart. And if they don't, maybe focusing on just getting them to pull a little tiny bit apart as you bring that breath deep into the base of your lungs. And if they do pull apart, could you make it a little bit bigger as you breathe in? Letting the breath do the work. You're just noticing. Noticing on the inhale, the fingers come apart, and then as you exhale, they gently come back together again. And we're not looking for a huge gap between your fingers, just a little bit. Feeling the breath come deep into your lungs, all the way to the base. Without forcing it or pushing it, just gently bringing the breath to the base of the lungs. And maybe just taking a minute to notice your shoulders and to make sure that they haven't tensed up. Sometimes when I do this with my hands, I find my shoulders tense up a little bit. So just checking that they're still soft. Keeping your attention on the base of your lungs and on your hands moving. There's no need to pull in big gulps of air, just allowing the air to come in and out gently. Gentle inhale, gentle exhale. Maybe for the last minute, just letting the hands go and just noticing how it feels in your belly when you take your hands away. Keeping the breath coming deep into your lungs. And as we approach the silence again, maybe bringing the deep breathing into the silence, but gently.
And as the birdsong begins again and the silence gently comes to a close, just reflecting and noticing again how that silence felt after the deep breathing. For our next segment, we're still looking to breathe deeply, but we're going to move our focus from the base of our chest, the kind of belly area, and we're going to move it to the side, to our rib cage. So maybe you can place your hands on your rib cage at either side, if it's physically possible for you. Or maybe you can just place your hands gently at your back. And depending on how you're lying or seated, or depend what feels easier for you. So we're down at the bottom of the rib cage. And we're just looking at those muscles in between the ribs. And as we breathe, we have our hands on the side, just feeling our hands move gently out as we inhale, and then moving back in as we exhale. And if we have our hands at the back, maybe we can feel the gap between our rib cage and the surface, just closing up a little as we inhale and exhale. So again, we're breathing deep into the bottom of our ribs and just noticing the movement, not of our chest going up and down, but of our ribs going out and in, and of our back expanding backwards. And just do what is physically easy for you in this regard. Don't push and don't challenge your body. If what is easiest for you is simply just to breathe with your focus on your ribcage, that's enough. You don't need to touch, you don't need to have your hands there if it's not comfortable. Just noticing the gentle movement of your ribcage on the inhale and the exhale. And noticing how your breath naturally deepens when you bring your attention to your ribcage. See if you can feel your bottom rib. That's the place where your ribcage and your diaphragm meet. You might find it easy to cross your arms and do it with arms crossed instead of side by side. Noticing whether you can feel the breath filling the small of your back, if your back is supported by the chair back or by the bed or the surface you're lying on. Can you feel the breath filling in that slight curve in your spine? Just allowing yourself the grace that your body is allowing you. For some, the movement won't be possible or won't be easy, and just allowing that to be. Just keeping the focus on your breath going down to the bottom and to the sides and to the back of your lungs. Maybe for the last 40 seconds or so, you can just release all movement with your hands or your arms, and you can just breathe gently. And Notice the breath going into all those corners. Your arms and hands relaxing. And just relax now into the silence.
And as the birdsong brings the silence to a gentle close again, just noticing how that silence felt. Maybe it felt the same as the others, and maybe it felt completely different. Without having to ask why, just noticing. And in our final segment, I'm going to invite you to coherence breathing, balanced breathing. And we balance our breaths by bringing the inhale and the exhale to the same length. And we can do that by gently counting in our head, maybe to 4, maybe to 5, maybe to 3, whatever count feels right for you at this moment. We can also use our hands, bringing each fingertip to the thumb as we count. We can use one hand, we can use one for the inhale, one for the exhale. Or we can just set the intention and allow our body to balance our breaths. Allow our body to bring everything into balance. And I'm going to let you find your own count, but we are going to do 2 breaths together as the music begins. So at the end of your next exhale, just pause. And then inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And now find your own count. Find what suits you in this moment, knowing that there's no count better or worse than another count. And as you gently inhale and exhale, maybe just noticing, are you still bringing that breath deep into your lungs? Or could you deepen it just a little bit? And if you are counting with your breaths, maybe just noticing, do you need to change that count? Maybe you need to make it a little shorter. Maybe you need to make it a little longer. Keeping your inhale and exhale gentle but deep. Allowing the balanced breathing, maybe to bring some balance to your nervous system. Maybe to bring balance to all your body systems. And now for the last minute, if you are counting, maybe letting go of the count and just allowing those breaths to be balanced without any need to control or force. Just gently allowing the breath pattern to fall away. So once again, we rest in the silence.
As the birdsong brings our final silence to a close, just taking the time to reflect on your whole journey this evening. Noticing how it felt to breathe deeply. And maybe that's new to you, or maybe it's something that you do all of the time. Noticing how your body feels, having been nurtured for 40 minutes or so. And it is time to bring the session to a gentle close. So it is time to invite you to bring a little bit of movement to your body, bringing your attention back to that connection again between you and the surface that you're on. You might stretch, you might just rotate your wrists and rotate your ankles. And just taking the time to reorientate yourself in the room that you're in. First in your imagination, and then by opening your eyes gently and taking a look around and noticing the textures and the colours of the things in your room.
And as you bring yourself back to the Zoom room, I'm just going to draw your attention to some links we have in the chat. And if you're watching on the recording, the links will be somewhere around. The recording of this will go in YouTube, and it will also go in our Exhale library, where there won't be any ads. And the two links are in the chat, the YouTube link and the link to join the library, which you can join for free. Our next longer breathwork session is anchoring the exhale, and that's on Friday, the day after tomorrow. And it's at 7 o'clock, and we'll breathe for 2 hours on Friday. But it will be, it'll still be our style of breathing. And then our breath workshop, which is 3 hours, our next breath workshop is on Sunday, the 8th of February. And in that workshop, we're going to breathe with the rowan tree. So we always breathe with the tree in our breath workshops. We've put in our directory listing because, if you feel generous and want to give us a review, we love getting reviews. And the last link we have is the link for the waiting list for our retreats. Our first retreat will be in Yorkshire in March. And then the next one will be in Ireland, and then Yorkshire, and then Ireland. And if you're interested, join the wait list and you'll get any information, and you can decide then when you get the information, you can decide. So joining the waiting list is just that. It's looking for more information. So the link for that is there as well. Okay, so that being said, it's time to turn off the recording. If you are watching this on recording, thank you very much for breathing with us. And just mind yourself for the next day or two, because breathwork can sometimes gently move things, and things might begin to move. And if you do need to get in contact with us for any reason, you can use a directory link, or you'll find us in the community. So